Alright guys, I am back with my review of WWE's Hell in a Cell 2012. And I had to bust out the coffee for this one because this show here just seemed to drag on forever. Especially Sheamus versus Big Show. Holy crap. And it's just a lot of these matches, not a lot of hype behind them. Who could really care that much about Orton versus Del Rio, which is why it opened the show. And it's not that some of the matches were bad or anything, but the crowd wasn't really into them either, and it's just hard to care about a lot of this crap. So the show really felt like it was just dragging on, and it was just kind of boring for the most part. So I can't really say I enjoyed this pay-per-view. It just... another one of those shows that just came and went. There wasn't really there was some big moments here. But anyways, I'm just going to get right into this. Let me see, I got to get my notes started here. Anyways, the pre-show starts, and it's Cena addressing the AJ affair. This is the worst pre-show they have ever done. Anything would have been better than this. Any match would have been better. But Cena comes out. He answers some kayfabe questions from Michael Cole, some tweets, some touts. Who's your favorite opponent? Do you think Ryback can beat Punk? Stuff like that. So it was just a huge waste of time. I like the idea of the pre-show. I like how they add some matches to get people interested enough to buy the pay-per-view. It's like a last-ditch effort to get some buys. This wouldn't do it. This was just a huge waste. Dolph Ziggler sends in a tout. He says that... I don't even remember what he said, but he sends in a tout. Cena calls him out. Vicky comes out and distracts Cena. Dolph runs out, and Cena knocks him out of the ring. So... on to Hell in a Cell. We get JBL, Cole, and JR on commentary. JBL was great here as usual. First match, Del Rio versus Orton. Del Rio mocks Orton, goes for an RKO, but Orton blocks it. Del Rio goes to the top rope, and he gets these wobbly legs. And then when he jumps down, there's just a lot of miscommunication going on, and it was awkward. Just neither guy knew what the hell was about to happen. So I guess they just kind of went with throw into the ropes and Randy Orton hits a drop kick. But yeah, it was bad for a second there. So Ricardo pulls Orton's shoulder into the post. Del Rio gets him in the armbar and Orton powers out. Del Rio runs up the turnbuckle for the kick and gets caught with an RKO. So Randy Orton wins here. Hopefully this feud is over. Looks that way to me. Backstage, Vicky says that she has pictures to prove the AJ Cena affair and will have AJ defend herself on Raw. Paul Heyman comes up and asks her to reconsider Punk being in the cell to face Ryback, and she says, is he scared? And then Heyman starts to freak out. We get Team Hell No versus the Rhodes Scholars for the tag titles. The Rhodes Scholars cut a good promo on their way to the ring. They say, we are the tag team champions. Cody hits Crossroads on Bryan, but Kane attacks Cody. He goes crazy. He starts attacking Cody and Damian Sandow. He's not the legal man, so the referee rings the bell. He chokeslams Sandow afterwards, and the Rhodes Scholars win by DQ, but of course can't have a title change. So that was it. The match started off good, and then it just kind of went to hell. I don't really know what they were thinking with this. Miz backstage with Josh Matthews. He plugs the Doomsday Preppers, some TV show. He says, when does that show air? But I liked his promo here, and he used the plug for the promo, so I thought that was really good. He's talking about how Kofi as champion will end civilization. Kofi's mediocre, and he's awesome. And by winning tonight, he saves the world. It's a really good promo. Miz versus Kofi for the Intercontinental title. Miz has the big foam awesome letters again. JBL mentions Johnny Bananas. I'm pretty sure that's what he said from the Real World Road Rules Challenge. He said something like, if Johnny Bananas becomes champion, it's thanks to The Miz. Something to that effect, but Miz works the leg, takes Kofi's boot off. I have no idea why you don't work the leg he's going to kick you in the face with. So, Kofi throws Miz out of the ring. He runs back in, gets hit with Trouble in Paradise. Kofi gets the win. Stryker interviews him after, and Kofi says that he thanks The Miz for bringing out the Wildcat in him. It was a good match. Nothing really amazing, but it was fine. Daniel Bryan and Kane are arguing. Kane sings, Old MacDonald had a farm. And that's not even the stupidest thing that happened tonight. Antonio Cesaro versus Justin Gabriel for the U.S. title. Let me see here. They're talking about being in Atlanta on commentary. And JBL says that JR used to get Ted Turner and Eric Bischoff coffee here. It's probably my favorite line of the entire night. So JBL also hates Justin Gabriel's hair. Gabriel jumps over the top rope, gets hit with the very European uppercut. Cesaro throws him back in the ring, hits the neutralizer for the win. Good match, but dead ass crowd. They could not care about this at all. I mean, this... Is there anything else on here? Maybe the Divas match, but they just really were not into this. So Heyman comes up to Vicky. He thanks her for canceling the match. She says the match is still on. Time waster. Rey Mysterio and Sin Cara versus the Primetime Playas. Cole tells Lillian Garcia to get well soon since apparently she was hit by a car. So that's no good. We see Chili from TLC dancing to the Primetime Playas music, which is funny since they're heels. Sin Cara dives on Titus. Rey hits a 619 and the splash on Darren for the win. Sin Cara is injured again. Really sucks for him. He was holding his neck and they showed a replay of Titus picking him up and dropping him directly on his neck. He seemed okay at the end, but I don't think he is. I hope he is. But yeah, I don't know. If Sin Cara's taken off for another few months, that's really going to kill this poor guy. It's just, the writing's on the wall if he gets injured again. Big Show versus Sheamus. This match lasted way too long. Way too long. Big Show dominates Sheamus the whole match. He throws him over the announce table, which scares the hell out of JR. He wasn't prepared for this at all. Big Show, Sheamus hits white noise on Big Show, which was impressive. Big Show hits the KO punch. Sheamus kicks out. Sheamus takes Big Show down, hits a bro kick. Big Show kicks out. And then Sheamus goes for another bro kick. And Sheamus dodges it and hits the WMD for the win. New champion. I was very surprised by this. Ziggler guaranteed he would cash in, and that didn't happen. I'm glad that didn't happen. I think they really do need to build him up some more before anybody would buy him as a champion. But yeah, Big Show is the new World Heavyweight Champion, and that was it. He just beat Sheamus. So Sheamus has been on this monster push, just destroying guys left and right, and Big Show just took him out. I'm not really sure WWE's reasoning behind this. I don't know what they want to accomplish by having Big Show hold the belt. I guess it's different, so I'm not completely against it, but at this point in his career, I don't really think he needs a title run. So I'm going to keep an open mind, but we'll see what they do with it. But yeah, just having him beat Sheamus, who's going to be their top babyface on SmackDown, and just clean like that. Surprising. So of course Booker T's upset. Eve tries to talk to him, but he says he has to check on Sheamus. Teddy Long says he knows Eve has tried to make him look bad. And Zack Ryder shows up dressed as a witch. He says some comedy lines here, and Santino shows up, and in his own words, he's dressed as Lady Goo Goo Gaga. Oh man, that's just... Ron Simmons shows up and says, damn. terrible, terrible stuff. Punk goes to see Vince and tells him to call off the match. Vince asks if he's afraid of Ryback. Have you lost your confidence? And Punk says no. Vince says, then prove you're the best in the world. And Punk leaves. Okay, what was the point of this? Another time waster. Eve versus Layla versus Caitlyn for the Divas title. I'm going to be honest. I wasn't really paying attention to this at all. Oh, I just couldn't. I tried, but by this point in the show, after Big Show Sheamus, I just couldn't do it. It took everything I had to watch this damn match, and I still missed most of it. I know Eve won, and I think she won with the Harlem Hangover. That's what it looked like to me. Of course, they didn't show a replay, and I don't know. It's not like I could rewind it, so Eve won. Big Show says that everyone's nightmare has come true, and then we see Sheamus getting medical attention. And then it's time for the main event, Hell in a Cell, Punk versus Ryback for the WWE title. I guess the match itself, it was short. They kept it short. I think it actually started at 10:37. So they knew what they had to do here. And with the use of weapons, there were some weapons involved in this match. I guess they used that to try to hide some of Ryback's weaknesses, maybe. Excuse me. But Punk uses a fire extinguisher on him. Ryback dominates him most of the match. He tries to use a chair, but Ryback kicks it in his face. Punk actually gets a big cut on his arm in this match. Punk starts beating Ryback with a kendo stick, but he hawks up from it. So Ryback really didn't have to do a lot of selling. Ryback gets Punk up for shell-shocked, and referee Brad Maddox stops him. And then low blows him. And then while Ryback has been hitting the balls, Punk rolls him up, and Maddox fast counts 3. So Punk wins the match, the streak is over. It wasn't a clean win by any means, but the streak is over. You cannot say he's undefeated now because he's been pinned. So that's completely out the window. Punk and Maddox try to escape the cell, and they're locked in, and they're like, please open the door. So they're waiting for the door to be unlocked, and Ryback wakes up, and it's like a monster movie. And he comes down there, and he starts destroying them. He destroys Maddox, and eventually they get the door open, and Heyman's trying to drag Punk's body out the door, and Ryback stomps on him and scares Heyman away. And then he throws Punk into the cell, and Punk starts to climb to the top. Ryback follows him up there. And then while they're up there, I'm thinking, holy shit, is Punk going to go through and hit the ring? Like, what the hell's going to happen? He's going to throw him off the cell? Something. And Ryback hits shell-shocked on top of the cell, and the show's over. What the hell is this? This was a huge waste of time. Is that supposed to be impressive? The only thing, I was concerned because Ryback looked like his ass was about to go through the top of that cell at any moment. That was pretty scary. I was really afraid that guy was just going to drop and die. But yeah, I did think they had something planned, like some big, some like spot on the cell where they knew it would break, and I don't know, anything really, but I mean, you can't top Mick Foley going off the top of the cell and then going through the top of the cell. It can't be topped again. So it is a very dangerous spot, and you can only do that with a guy like Mick Foley, who can just withstand that amount of damage. I get all of that, but you still expect something when they climb to the top of the cell. And when all it is the guy hitting his finisher, and Ryback's finisher, to me personally, is not that impressive to begin with. He really just picks the guy up and then falls backwards. So it's not like a huge, nasty power bomb or something like that. He just falls backwards. So when you climb all the way to the top of the cell and you're expecting this big grand finale to blow this show off, and that's what you get, I don't know. I just thought the entire show was a disappointment. I did enjoy the surprise of Big Show winning the title. That's not like the worst thing ever. I don't really care. I think it could be a nice change on SmackDown. Like I said, we'll see what they do with it, but for the most part, this show was just kind of bland. They had a lot of filler matches, which I think we all expected, with the Rey Mysterio Sin Cara tag match being thrown on here, and just some stuff like that. Cesaro, Gabriel. But yeah, it was just kind of like a bland show that you would see every week on TV, especially now that Raw is 3 hours. The only difference is they had a cell match, but even that was just So anyways, that is my review of WWE Hell in a Cell 2012. Yeah, I didn't really care much for this one at all. Hopefully Survivor Series is going to deliver, but we're going to have to see the build, and they've got 3 weeks to do this, so I'm not really expecting much from that one either. But anyways, that's my review of this show. Hope you guys liked the video. Leave your thoughts on the show in the comments below, and thanks for watching. Bye. And it's just a lot of these matches, not a lot of hype behind them. Who could really care that much about Orton versus Del Rio, which is why it opened the show. And it's not that some of the matches were bad or anything, but the crowd wasn't really into them either, and it's just hard to care about a lot of this crap. So the show really felt like it was just dragging on, and it was just kind of boring for the most part. So I can't really say I enjoyed this pay-per-view. It just another one of those shows that just came and went. There wasn't really Alright guys, I am back with my review of WWE's Hell in a Cell 2012. And I had to bust out the coffee for this one because this show here just seemed to drag on forever. Especially Sheamus versus Big Show. Holy crap. Would have been better than this. Any match would have been better. But Cena comes out. He answers some kayfabe questions from Michael Cole, some tweets, some touts. Who's your favorite opponent? Do you think Ryback can beat Punk? Stuff like that. So, was some big moments here. But, anyways, I'm just going to get right into this. Let me see, I gotta get my notes started here. Anyways, the pre-show starts, and it's Cena addressing the AJ affair. This is the worst pre-show they have ever done. Anything